And welcome back to Wind Against Tide. We are live at the 60th BIA Melbourne Boat Show. Adrian Lutz here, Dave Standing, and we've got a special guest from Mercury Australia, or Mercury, Director of Sales, Dave Meehan. Thanks for joining us, guys. Anyone and anything could happen right now.
Thanks for popping down, Joey. Good of you to come down after all the hard work has been done by me and Adrian, getting everything set up as usual. But you look great, and that's all that matters.
You know what Joey did? The first thing he did was, oh, guys, I'm really hungry. I'm going to go order some food. That's what he did.
Yeah, typical Joe. Dave, so good to have you back on the podcast in a little while.
It's been a while. Good to be here, fellas.
Yeah, thanks. So since you've been on, there's been a little bit happening. I think you've changed motor on your own boat. You went from the Pro XS back to the V6.
Yep.
And we were going to ask you for some engine stats, some updates. What do you got? Are you liking it?
That's all good. Yeah, no, it's been good. I loved the V8 225 Pro XS. As you know, Dave, it sounds good, goes good, is good. But I just, because I can, I originally had a V6 on it, and I just felt that I wanted a slightly quieter engine, and the V6 is a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
It's slightly better on fuel, probably save about 5 or 6 litres an hour, which is nothing.
Yeah.
It was just a good match for my boat. So my boat's, I've got a Haynes Hunter 6 metre.
Yep.
And the V6 is just perfect for that.
It's a 585, mate. Don't talk yourself up.
But I'm very happy with it. It's been good. So.
Yeah, awesome. But you don't get all the heads turning at the boat ramp when you start it.
That's true. And when I'm squid fishing, and every time I start it up, it doesn't sound like that Pro XS, which is the only thing I miss. But
you can always manually make that noise yourself. That's it. So you've got quite a turnout here from Mercury at the boat show. I think I've seen about 30 people walking around with Mercury shirts on. What have you actually got going on here? You've got one main stand with your trailer with all the electronics.
Yeah, I think he's piggybacked off all the marine companies, so he doesn't have to pay a cent.
Come on now. No, it was. We do have a good display of Mercury dealers here, and how good is it to be back at a boat show? So
it's awesome.
We've missed. I think when I was with the Boating Industry Association, we've been planning a Melbourne boat show for the last 3 years. So it's really good to be back, and the weather's held. It's nice weather down. It's hot as down here at the moment, so it's really good.
It's very muggy.
It is, and so we've probably got about 4 or 5 Mercury dealers here, a couple of our boat builders partners. So it's plenty of Mercury product, which is good.
Yep.
Hey Dave, who's some of the boat people that you're here with?
Joey, you can't plug everyone. He's with 20 bloody marine companies today.
Yeah, there's a lot here, and it's hard to single a few out. So, but
obviously
he doesn't want to play favourites like a good daddy.
Obviously, their marquee branding partner for the show is Wind Against Tide, but there's some lesser stands dotted around the place that I've noticed have some Mercury brands going. What deals are going on?
G'day, Mitch. Just saying g'day to Mitch Carter Blanca on the live stream here.
Good stuff, Adrian. So if people come up and find you, Dave, specifically.
Yeah, so
directing everyone to Dave.
We did bring the Mercury trailer in here for a reason. So there's a couple of guys from Mercury head office there, and we'll be floating around our dealers as well in the nice blue shirts here.
Yep.
So come and find one of us. But talk about engines, rigging. In our trailer, we've got all the different electronics, gauges and displays and stuff like that. So if you're setting up a boat, come and talk to us, and we'll give you some advice. But another big thing too, like engines have been a little bit tight to get, and they're starting to free up a bit now. And one thing we have got is plenty of portable outboards. So up to sort of 20 horsepower, we've got a really good promotion. It's some great prices on some select portable outboards. So
okay, awesome.
Come down. We've had heaps of people coming down. They've seen the advertising and come in and ask us to buy one. So it's good.
So the best thing about that is you can walk down here into Docklands, New Quay, and walk off carrying a motor, bolt it straight onto your car, and off you go home.
There you go.
Absolutely perfect. Have you got any 175 Pro XSs? Adrian wants to know.
Well, we can pull some strings, Adrian. We need to get you into one at some stage.
Oh, let's make it happen.
I know.
Let's do it.
Well, do you want to fill everyone in? What's the go, Adrian?
I actually want to know, this is a little bit off topic, but there's a lot of YouTube guys out there that are getting sponsor deals and stuff. Let's go with that. How does a young kid who started a YouTube channel get a mercury motor on his boat.
Is that the green-eyed monster over there, Mr. Jealous?
No, I just want to know. Like, there's many kids out there that want to know the process.
Oh, okay.
Can it happen?
Well, I guess there's one thing about all the people we sponsor; they own their product and it's authentic. We're not giving away products and it's cash for comment. So that's one thing we like about what we do. And when you hear someone talk about their motor, they own it, and it's a genuine discussion. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
That's fair.
As with all our product, generally we try and pay for it. And
Yep. I'm happy to buy my own things, and if I don't like it, I'll move on and buy something else and try something that I like.
But if anyone would like to get a free Mercury, you message our show. I'll give you Dave's number direct. Give him a call.
When they're giving away first, I'm first in line. So gotta
That's
find
right.
me.
He's got the quota already. So that leads us on to your boat build, Adrian, that's going on. The little 420 Renegade's getting upgraded.
It's not getting upgraded. It's getting pushed aside and maybe sold to fund the new Mercury motor.
Yeah, which is going on.
Well, you're building a boat from scratch, Adrian, aren't you?
Yeah, so it's a fully custom boat. It's made by a guy in Carrum Downs called Steve's Custom Welding, and he makes his own plate alloy boats in-house. And basically you can make them however you like. He's got a hull that's, engineered and designed and proven. They're all built into survey, self-draining decks.
Yeah.
And I can bolt 175 Pro Access on a 5 meter tinny.
So
That's gonna fly.
after you just led me into the next question perfectly. So you've got a 5 meter tinny. Did you decide if it's going to be a hard top or an open boat?
Joey, we love the casting experience. We just want to drive around and go, oh, there's tuna, and quickly cast out any direction in the boat. So it's going to be center console, ready to cast.
And how long do you think it'll take to get this boat welded up and fitted out? Like, what's your timeline on this boat?
Look, if you help out and we work overnight, maybe a couple of days.
Joe's welds would be fantastic, I'd imagine. So through the experience of you two, what are we predicting a top speed for this 5.5 meter?
5.2 meter center console.
4 mil plate?
4 mil. I think maybe 5 mil bottom, 4 mil sides.
What
I've
weight?
got to have a look.
Do you know what weight?
Nah, I have no idea.
So what are we thinking the Pro XS 175 is going to get you up to? And me?
Well, I'm basing it on Jonah's 225 on his 18-foot boat, and he's getting 90k an hour. So I'm thinking I'm going to get maybe mid-90s to 100. What do you think, David?
Good question. No idea, to be honest. I've got no idea.
I'm going to call 90.
90.
90 would be good. If you get 90, that'd be good.
Out of a 5 meter, I think.
Please don't let him go any faster. Scary. I don't want Adrian being let loose with that much horsepower. It's a little bit frightening for the passengers.
That's all right. We get places quick. We get it done.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, if anyone's watching the live feed here and they can come and find us while Dave's recording, we've got a nice shiny Mercury drinking container thing over there.
Oh,
Joe's
yeah.
going to show the camera.
Yep.
You come and find us, we'll give you one.
There we go.
Look at that.
Mercury drink bottle. It's red. It's shiny. It goes fast.
Perfect.
Someone's just commented on the live stream here that they'll come pick up a V8 motor.
Yeah, mate, just bring your spanners and knock it off one of those boats down there. That'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's portable, right? Sailor portable.
Yeah, we'll get it out.
How have you found the turnout for the weekend so far, Dave?
I'm actually surprised it's busy, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's plenty of people around, and as long as this weather stays like this, it'll be good.
Yes. As we talk, I feel a cold change coming through the studio.
There was a bit of controversy happening yesterday morning around the Mercury stand. There was a dead heart, like someone's head just floating in the water. Was that you, David?
I heard there was.
Adrian, that's an ongoing investigation.
Is that for real? Someone?
Yeah,
they fished someone out of the water here yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not
police
that,
taped her in.
You won't hear that on the 6 o'clock news. You've heard it here first.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's not a good start.
Yeah. Dave's just trying to sell some merch here while we're live recording.
Look, I'll do my best if anyone wants to buy stuff on the tour.
Yeah. Now, Dave, Joey's actually in the market to buy his own motor for his little 420.
Yeah.
Have you got a Renegade?
I've got a 2000 Quintrex Dory wide body, 4.2
so it's even
meter.
lighter.
Yep. It's light, but it had a Mercury Force, would you believe it? From
Really?
1998. I think the hull's 2000. The motor was 1998. It's a 40 horsepower two-stroke. Had the boat for 10 years. It's done great. My dad and I, we part own it. And yeah, we enjoy taking it out. It's light, it's easy to launch, and yeah, we had some problems with it. We got the stator changed, we got the coils changed. Then the next, like, we spent a bit of money and it's still not right.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to be looking at repowering that. So
you're thinking about something like a 40 or a 64 stroke?
a 40 or a 50.
Yep.
So yeah,
Now
I'm
put a 60
definitely
on it. You don't want to be underpowered, Joey.
Yeah,
You just want to launch into the fish, basically.
What's that boat rated to? What's maximum horsepower on it?
I'm
I'd
not
say
sure.
50.
Yeah.
If it's a
probably
420,
50.
it'd be 50. But you just change a few numbers on the motor, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so we'll be definitely pricing up that this
Sounds
weekend.
Good. Sounds good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Dave, I wanted to ask you. You like fishing as well as boating? When are you getting out for a fish next, mate?
Look, I've decided to turn next weekend into a long weekend, so I've taken Friday and Monday off, and thinking about hitting up Western Port on Friday, try and catch a snapper.
Beautiful.
I've been out once a couple of weeks ago and got my first snapper, which was good.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
How big was it?
They're pretty small at the moment, up the top end, sort of around that Tenby Point, Coronella area. So, yeah, haven't caught a big one yet.
Yeah.
Well, if you gave me a phone call, I'd probably take you out and get you onto a couple of 5 kilo reds, I reckon.
There you go.
But I think you're too ashamed of the colour motor I got on the back.
I can take you in my boat, though. So
Okay,
that's
yeah.
okay. You're
Probably a
invited.
bit more comfortable, a bit more drier.
You're invited, yeah. Hey, how good's an open boat, though? Like, you can't beat an open boat. Like my holiday down in Inverloch. And my boat's probably a little bit of a handful down there with the tide and stuff, but I'd love to have an open tinny. Like
It just makes even squid fishing, it makes that so much more enjoyable because you don't have to cast at the back of boat all the time. You can cast wherever you like, and it just makes it so much more enjoyable.
I agree.
Like on Brendan's open tinny, he has the deck chairs out. Like
That's
it's a perfectly flat surface. He's got the deck chairs out, and you can cast off the front of it, or if you want to turn it into a sort of sit and watch the rods at the back, it's very, very easy to do that.
It's pretty good. And even in winter, like, geez, you get some nice days in the middle of winter, like no wind. It gets a bit cold, but still, it's good.
Yeah. Love the
it,
fresh
yeah.
air.
Joe, you got any more questions you wanted to ask him? Mercury motors?
Oh, I just want to take a sidestep. You mentioned to me before, Dave, you interested in you joined the Caulfield Race Club.
Oh, how
How you been enjoying the horse racing?
He's a punter.
I'll tell you what, my mates have been pestering me for years about joining Caulfield Race Courses. Apparently, it's the best value membership. It's $300 a year or something like that. And I went to the Caulfield Cup, went to the one before. It was really good.
Yeah,
it's really social, and I'm gonna be a bit of a Caulfield nut. I won a couple of $100 last weekend. Happy days.
Yeah, Adrian's one of his little dreams is to become a professional gambler. He mentioned on previous podcasts.
That was just a joke, Joey. Just making jokes up. But I actually don't gamble myself. I often think I'd go to the casino and put like $10,000 on black on the roulette table, but I haven't done it yet. Do you reckon maybe we should do that tonight, Dave? Put $10,000 on roulette.
Mate, I just missed out. I've been selling apparel. Do I get a bonus for that? What did I miss?
Well, we're talking about his
motor-
professional punting career that he's joined up at the Caulfield Racing Club.
$5 bet. So
Yeah.
I'm a big gambler, but
I think when we left, Joe was getting a new motor. What happened there?
that's sorted. He's sold. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we
Absolutely.
going?
40 to
40,
40 to 50.
Yep.
Yeah,
40 or
something like
50.
that.
Getting it done this weekend?
Center console.
How much?
We'll just make that happen.
We'll just make it happen.
Ah,
It's
the old-
just done.
Yeah,
she'll be
wink,
right,
wink.
yeah.
Good Joe.
Hey,
Good deal for
Hey,
Joe.
what's a ballpark for a 50 turnaround on an old boat?
Price.
Yeah.
I haven't got my priceless with me. So
Oh,
couldn't tell you.
he knows in the back of his mind he's trying to think about how much money he's going to make from this sale.
There you go.
Dave, who does you pick for Melbourne Cup, mate? Who's going to take out the Melbourne Cup based off Caulfield?
So I said I like the horse racing, but I to be honest, I'm just a on the day gambler. So I'm just doing it for a bit of social fun and a couple of beers.
All right, well, I'll ask a different one. What do your mates reckon?
Oh, I've got no idea. I don't know. I haven't even studied it yet. So
Oh, fair enough.
Hey, Joe,
What?
how are you finding the food situation at the boat show?
Oh, well, I'll give a little update on the food here. We had a nice little takeaway shop right by our stand, and they actually ran out of bacon. I went to go and order 3 bacon and egg muffins. I said, sorry, we're out of bacon, but we can actually upgrade you to smoked salmon.
Hey, I did.
So-
I love the smoked salmon addition to my bacon and egg roll.
Yeah, so we had a beautiful smoked salmon and egg, cream cheese, English muffin for our morning tea / brunch, if you'd call it.
Well,
What
I
about-
gave mine to my wife, but I'm sure they were good.
You did. You did it to
What
your
about-
wife like a good husband.
What about the $50 lobster rolls? Have you had to go one of those
Oh,
yet?
we
That's
love the
funny you
lobster
say
roll.
that. So, like when I'm not doing fishing, I play music. I'm playing at Graysland just up the road later on, and Crab and Claw has a fantastic lobster roll.
There you go.
I'll be getting stuck into one of them later on tonight.
Any of you blokes dive?
Oh, look,
Dave's like a wet towel.
I have
basically.
a few years ago, I was getting into it. I got all the staff, did a couple of trips, and then just get preoccupied with fishing and podcasting ever since. But I really do want to get back into it.
So Darren Moore, we've got to get him lined up. Our
Yeah.
Victorian Territory manager has bought himself a unbelievable looking boat, the
Yep.
Bass Strader, and he's going to apparently get us a couple of lobsters for.
Is that what
for
he
Christmas.
reckons?
Yeah,
A couple of raw
apparently.
lobsters.
Well, I'll go with him and go on Shark Lookout.
Wait, didn't you have a what do you call it? Snoober? What?
A hooker.
A hooker. That's the one. There you go. That's how much diving I
That's
do.
an air compressor, everyone. By the way, yeah.
You were like, yeah, I've got this machine that allows us to go under the water,
I've
and
got
but,
this underwater breathing device, Joe.
no, but you needed a part for it.
Yeah, you needed the regulator
Yeah,
for.
look, we've never organised it.
Yeah.
It's sitting in my shed, and my wife's just like, "Why is this thing here?" I'm like, "It's $4,000 worth of equipment.
hooker.
I can't give it away."
Hookers aren't cheap.
No, air compressors aren't cheap, Adrian.
Hey,
Not
we,
reliable Honda air compressors.
we got another special guest here. He's just going to come and just musical chairs here. We got if you guys were listening a couple of weeks ago to Rob Bleumink, who his family used to organise the Mornington Tea Tree snapper competition. Rob,
Oh, you
coming
can
out.
jump on. You can jump on with me and
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
can-
cool.
Me and signing
Oh,
out.
Dave's
out.
gone. Thanks, Dave.
See you guys.
Dave, nice to see you.
I'm going to
Thanks.
come see you for a lobster roll in a little while. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so we've got the tea tree snapper weighmaster here.
Well, we've got the son of the Waymaster, but Rob was on a couple of weeks ago. He was telling us about all the people that cheated in Tea Tree.
Hey, Rob, lovely to have you on. When you're speaking to the mic, we've got to speak nice and close. Just a quick little rundown for you.
worries.
How you going?
Good, thanks, gents. Yourself?
Oh, pretty well. You just down for a cruise at the boat show, are you?
Yeah, thought I'd take a sneaky little early knock off and
Yeah.
come have a look at some boats.
What are you thinking? You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
Like
nice.
the outdoors. It's good today. I'm not sure how it's going to be tomorrow on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure. I think this afternoon, maybe.
Hey, Brendan Wings doing a shout out to you, Robbie, saying, "Hey, Robbie, how you going?"
What's going on, Winger?
Do you remember Winger's glorious tea tree moment?
I remember Winger from before the glorious tea tree moment when he was in the club.
Oh,
Oh,
really? He was in the
that's-
club.
What-
Yeah, he
can you
used to be
tell-
part of this club. This is how he knew these.
Oh,
What
are you
can you
telling me
tell
he
us
was
about
actually-
Brendan Wing at the Mornington Snapper Tea Tree comp?
Not a lot about the comp itself, but I knew him back before Great Grey Submarines when he was just a regular fisher like the rest of us, not a celebrity.
Yeah,
you knew him when he wasn't as vain, I guess.
yeah, I'm quite shocked that Brendan's actually gone to some sort of social club and talked to people. It's very out of character.
Well, it's from back in the days where if you wanted to learn about things, you actually had to go outside the house and
Yep.
talk to people. You couldn't just jump online, Google, how do I catch this?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so he did have that big moment in Tea Tree where he actually released a fish of 20-pound plus.
Yeah, it was a big knobby from memory, and he reckons he would have won the competition with that fish.
Yeah.
Would have won it pretty comfortably that year, I think.
So that was a big moment to set that fish free. Because I believe that year there was a catch and release section, and was he the only one entered? I think.
I don't remember that part, to be
Yep.
honest. But it would have won fish,
Yeah.
won the comp outright if he had bought it in. Yeah.
Yeah, so really cool that he let that one swim.
It was a very interesting time back then. I'm going to maybe take a guess about 2006, 2007. Like to actually own a video camera to like film something was actually really, really expensive. Like now we're fast forward to 2022, you've got GoPros, you've got all these other really portable, cost-effective cameras. So yeah, I can see back then how it probably wasn't most appealing to bring a camcorder out and go and try and film a snapper.
Yeah, especially if you want decent footage. Like back then, you were trying to run a 5 megapixel little Sony Sun, and
Yeah, that's right.
They weren't very good quality.
You're filming with a potato, basically.
Hey, Rob, I've got a question
real
for you.
blurry.
You got a boat. Tell us a bit about your boat.
I've got a Stacer 519 Easy Rider, so bow rider, 90 horse Honda 4-banger on the back, and I've decked it out with a casting deck and 80-pound 60-inch motor guide electric and snapper axe on the back, so it's best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's a good crossover boat, that.
That's lovely. What sort of fishing do you like to do with the electric?
I've always loved my bream fishing with lures, and I spent about 2 years up in New South Wales on the south coast chasing snapper with plastics and stuff like that. So something that I want to get into a bit back here.
Awesome. What's been your best snapper in the south coast of New South?
The best one that I landed was probably about 4.5, but I had one of my mates that I took out get one on just a tick under 7.
Wow. Have you done much of the snapper on lures in Port Phillip?
Very, very limited. I've moved back just before COVID started. So
yeah, okay.
Pretty hard to get to the ramp when you're 5.8 Ks from Carrum.
Yeah, unless you're Adrian and you just do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want to get down to the nitty gritty moments of the tea tree competition. Like, what happens when someone actually cheated? Did you kick him out?
There really wasn't that many options. Like very, very early on, you had big prizes for the heaviest fish, but for the majority of it, like you have a look at year on year, the fish that were winning the boats were 3, 4, 5 kilo fish. It was just random captures. So there wasn't sort of the only people that were trying to cheat were the people that wanted that glory of having the trophy, which was like, it was a cool trophy. It was a hand carved timber snapper that was made by an old member of the club every year. And it's a beautiful, beautiful bit of kit, but I don't know why you'd bother cheating to do that.
Winger said you're a tiny, cute little fella. Oh, he remembers you when you were.
I don't know about this cute bit, but I was certainly small when I first met him.
And I had another question for you, Rob. Now, your dad, he brought down quite a large boat from up in Queensland. Can you tell us much about that?
Well, first he bought a 40-foot boat from Sydney and then pulled it into the Hastings Marina, and it was sat next to a 50-foot riv, and he decided that he had boat envy. So sold that and bought a 54-foot Kingfisher, and we brought that down from Queensland. That was pretty cool. So sailed it from the Gold Coast all the way down.
How long did that take to sail it down from Queensland?
Including inclement weather, I think it ended up taking about 3 weeks. But if you had good weather and good steam, you could do it in just over a week.
And were you able to fish as you were sailing it down from Queensland?
I would have loved to have towed some skirts, especially up that top sort of half. But it was a case of, wherever we pulled in for the night, we fished.
Great. And have you taken it out on Western Port?
It's pretty much a glorified caravan, to be fair, at the moment.
That sounds nice. There's always a bigger boat, isn't there?
Yeah,
sitting in the marina next to you. Hey, Kamal has asked, I think we spoke about this when we had you on the phone, but he was just wondering why the tea tree comp has ended up, why it's finished.
Because the majority of the people who are running it are people like my old man's age, 68 years old, and they want to spend their time heading off north and enjoying their sunset. And so Snapper Point Angling Club is the club that runs it, and I think I'm one of about 5 blokes that's in it that's under 40.
Yeah, okay,
And there's just not enough people doing it. Like my old man, pretty much from day dot, was head of sponsorship. Then my mum was pretty much running the entries, and then my brother took on the weighmaster's role when he was 21, 22.
Yeah,
he's now 38.
Yeah.
So he was sort of running that, and when you've got the same people doing it year in year out, it gets pretty tired when you're doing all the work yourself.
Yeah, it becomes a burden, and then So if anyone does want to get that up and cranking again, you got to join up the Snapper Point Angling Club and put your hand up.
Oh, do you honestly reckon a weighing fish comp will actually make its day in this age today? Like,
probably
make a return.
I think it probably would. There's a lot of people that seem to miss it. Obviously, it'd be great to see maybe a little bit of a tweak on the rules to maybe promote a little bit more catch and release. Or
yeah, because a lot of comps these days, they have their own printed brag mats for the comp, and you got to take a photo of it on the comp brag mat, and then you release it, and it's the longest fish that wins. So it's pretty hard to cheat when you've got comp regulations in it.
Oh, you're pretty good with the camera. You could get work some angles.
Well, I think you got to have a certain angle, like straight above it.
Yeah.
Look, what I just sort of picked up from what Rob was just saying. Then, if you're organising a significant fishing competition, like I'm sure gaining the sponsors and all of that could be a year-long thing. And I think the reason why it was so successful because it definitely had a huge prize pool. And that would attract a lot of people, no doubt. What are your thoughts on that, Rob?
Yeah, definitely. So mum and dad were pretty fortunate. They ran their own business. So they were sort of from April, May every year dedicating at least one day a week to trying to do stuff towards Tea Tree, whether it was contacting sponsors. The old man was really good at sort of being pretty regimented, and he had like welcome back forms and would you like to contribute again and all those sort of things that were sent out periodically. And towards the end, he had a team of guys helping him on the sponsorship side of things, so it wasn't as big a burden. But again, they were guys who ran their own businesses, so could sort of pencil a bit of time away without having to annoy a boss.
Great. I've got to ask you, what, in your opinion, from what maybe you can remember as a young fella, what would have been maybe your favourite year of Tea Tree? Because I'll just go back again. I used to watch, read the Herald Sun newspaper reports, and they used to say, X amount of snapper were caught, 900 snapper were caught over the weekend. What do you think was the best year of Tea Tree that you can remember?
Well, there's lots of different reasons they were good. My personal favourite was the year that I caught the most fish, because who doesn't like catching fish? We had a Friday afternoon where we were on the water at 5:30 and we were back at the ramp by 7:30 and we boated 30 fish. So
Port Phillip or Western Port?
That was Port Phillip in like 19.5 metres. We were cruising along and we just saw this blanket of red about 5 metres deep go through the screen and drop the pick, and before our second bait was on the rod, the first one was already going off. It was absolute chaos. So from a fishing side of things, that was definitely my favourite.
And how long did they bite for? When
we left them biting, we went, we've caught enough. Like, all we're going to do is kill fish. We don't want to kill if we keep staying out here. So we had our 3 for weighing in and decided we'd get back, beat it all. And being that we were pretty heavily involved, we were only able to fish the Friday evening, because Friday morning was setting up at the event, and then Saturday morning we were there from 7 getting everything ready as well. So it was nice that we had a good bite window when we were actually able to fish. Yeah,
you grew up on Port Phillip Bay. What would be your preferred bay for snapper nowadays?
If I want to catch large numbers, Port Phillip. If I want to enjoy my fishing, definitely Western Port. I think it's a much more diverse fishery.
Absolutely. The amount of species and size that you can get in Western Port basically trumps Port Phillip Bay.
Yeah,
wow. 100%. I don't know about that. Every year I see a few big snapper coming out of Port Phillip.
No, but I'm talking about like giant mulloways and stuff. Like, you don't it's a big fishery for Western Port, not as big in Port Phillip.
I don't know what it is about Tea Tree, but there's always some weird weather events going on. I can recall one year, and I think you were out as well, Adrian.
990 the barometer was.
The barometer dropped to 990. The snapper bit their heads off. Everyone I knew on the water just was reeling them in hand over fist, and then just bang, this front of wind hit. Must have been 40 knots plus.
Yeah.
And the ramps were absolutely mayhem.
And it was a real low tide too, so there wasn't much water at Stony Ramp. So everyone's just pushed themselves onto the bank.
It was bumper boats.
Yeah, it definitely was.
I think we were fishing up north of Hastings that year. It was absolutely spastic. I had to manually pull in the anchor on our little 16-foot boat and got absolutely drenched. I think I had about 1 inch square on my left hip that wasn't wet.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy. What was the biggest snapper that you saw in your time organising Tea Tree?
The actual Tea Tree comp, I think one year won one that was about 11.4 or something like that.
Was that Eric Morgan?
Possibly.
Caught up at Lysart's there? I think it was.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Yep. I remember seeing 11 kilo fish on the ice. That was back when it was at Snapper Point in the marquee.
Back when it was at the oval at the top of the hill at Mornington.
I was there.
I much preferred, like, from a fishing comp perspective, what's better than having it with views of the bay looking over the water next to the ramp. It was really cool. But
magic.
It just got too big. There was no room for it anymore when the comp grew, and then we got the opportunity to hold it at the Mornington Racecourse, where there was massive amounts of parking, so people could take their boats and trailers and they didn't have to go home. So it logistically made a hell of a lot more sense being there.
Yeah, that's a perfect location.
It make me sad. I miss the Tea Tree. It was so good.
It's nostalgic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Comps in general are a bit lacking in Victoria, to be fair. Like, apart from, you've got Reel It In trying to do some brim and flathead at the moment, but then you've got the Vic Brim comps, and yeah, apart from that, you got a couple of little game bits here and there, but really not much. Like up on the New South Wales coast, you've got 3 or 4 different brim tournaments that are running. You've got a couple of different floody tournaments, and then heaps of game tournaments. Like every sort of month or two, there's a different one running there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's the same old story of not enough people putting their hands up to help.
Absolutely. But a lot of people just saying that having those snapper comps were very motivating for new fishers. And I absolutely agree with that, because it can put a spring in your step thinking, oh, I could win this major prize. And perhaps that would bring more new anglers into the fishing game and create more hype around fishing.
Well, I think it's an event on the calendar for people to aim at too. They can book it a long way out, get it over the line with their partners.
And it's nice and easy, because it was always like there was no when's it going to be. It was always cup weekend. So
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't changing based on moon cycles or anything. It was
And
just
traditionally that's a weekend a lot of families go away, because you get about 4 days off, and so it just leaves the diehard fishermen.
And remarkable how many times it turned up really big fish over that specific weekend.
I think it's just like you have a look at. We always sort of worked as when the tea trees started to flower. That's when you started to look at snapper fishing. But
Rob Cartledge.
that sort
Robbie.
of start of November seems to be a really good time when the bites, more often than not, the water temperatures at a pretty good time that you're getting solid bite windows, not just half-hour nibbles.
Yeah, they flick the switch. So looking forward to the rest of this year, what are your fishing plans? You going to get out on the snapper very much, or?
Yeah, I've actually taken Melbourne Cup week off. I had to work the Thursday, Friday of grand final, so 2 days annual leave, and I get a 9-day break. So planning to do a power fishing in that there.
That's
Power
awesome.
fishing. Bit of a pun there.
Is it?
Power fish.
Ah, okay.
Willem.
Adrian loves
dog.
the puns.
Yeah, I do.
What are your plans, Adrian, over the long weekend?
I haven't actually decided yet, but I reckon I'll put in an effort for at least one snapper trip if the weather's good.
Yeah.
So I love the nighttime, midnight sessions. There's always big fish just lurking around in the midnight. What do you reckon, Dave?
So it's coming towards that time of year where I'll actually tolerate being out at night. So I might join you. You never know.
Yeah, get the barbecue fired up, the Weber, a couple of lamb chops, and a couple of snags, and we'll be loving life.
What are you thinking, Joe? You got plans? You got gigs?
I'll be trying to get a snapper over the long weekend. Adrian's just fully given me food envy with his perfectly processed snapper, snow white flesh. I'm still salivating over some snow white snapper flesh, because we've fallen in love with, or me personally, I'll speak to myself, we're fallen in love with eating snapper again. We never used to be very good at cooking it, but in recent years we've all spoken to each other, and we really enjoy eating snapper these days.
Hey, Joe, we've got one of Adrian's good fishmonger friends is bringing in free snapper. Right, we're going to have a filleting contest, me, you, Adrian, and we're going to weigh the frames and see how much meat yield is left on them.
Oh no, I'm not entering that. I'm hopeless.
I just really like to see your filleting technique, because no matter what happens, it seems like you squirm out of filleting fish. I reckon Toto gets to do all your fish at home.
And my dad is an excellent fish processor. But Dave, you'd be proud of me, like a proud dad. I told you I did so well with tuna. Like when those school tuna were biting earlier on in the year, and there was just lots of them. Hey, you catch lots of fish, and you practice makes perfect. But I haven't caught enough snapper to get good at filleting them yet. So.
I remember I took you fishing for the barrels, and you caught a school fish, and you're like, Dave, I just want to keep one. I'm like, that's fine, mate, but I'm not touching it. So I was driving along, still searching for a big fish, and you're there on the deck of the boat, and I'm giving you verbal instructions, and mate, you did a bloody ripper job. You got that fish ice down and in the esky.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did a good job. I actually slit my wrist.
Oh, we're still carrying injuries.
He's slicing his wrist because he thought about all the torment that he couldn't live any longer about processing a fish. So
that was in April.
Trying to take his life.
That was in April. I'm going, gee, I thought it would have healed up a bit.
I didn't even know
now.
that. Did you hide that from me from embarrassment? Come on. What's your comment?
No, I nicked. I must have nicked something on my wrist, and it wasn't bleeding so much, so I didn't think to talk about it.
Fair enough. So did we want to put a bit of a shout out to anyone that's still at the show to come in and see us?
Absolutely. Well,
go on, Joey. Do the advertising.
Well, Dave and Adrian have lined up some mega guests for later on this afternoon. Who we got planning to pop in and have a chat?
Mate.
We got Andrew from Escape Fishing, ET Fishing.
Wow.
He's coming in at 3.
He's coming in at 3. And then at 4 o'clock, we have Lee Rayner from Fishing Edge. And so one of you fishing tutorials
Yes.
on YouTube. He's going to come in and have a chat to us.
And we got Robbie, the Weighmaster, in now.
And we've got Robin, which is a nice surprise. So thanks for coming on. It was really good to catch up with you. And you're welcome on at any stage. And
No worries at all.
maybe we'll go out for a fish.
Yeah, might have to try and set up a bit of a film on the mothership.
Yeah, that sounds really good. We'll just
On the floating caravan. That sounds great.
That's the way to fish at night, where you can have 3 fridges and a couple of TVs on board.
I'm into
Waiting
that.
for a bite, sit there watching a 40-inch plasma.
Is that why Warren Carter's got a big boat now? He just gets to put his
Yeah, he
snapper
does.
rods out and puts the roast chook on. And
Well, apparently he just goes to sleep and waits for a reel to go off.
Yeah, the
Why
older you
not?
get, they reckon you become fair weather fishermen. Instead, my old man just got a boat that it doesn't matter what the weather is. It still
well,
feels
the
like
weather
it's fair.
becomes fair when you've got a bigger boat, doesn't it?
That's definitely a pattern because Wingers bought a 702 meter. Is that my son squealing?
It's a 702 signature.
Signature, and we have affectionately nicknamed it the Homer.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone watches The Simpsons, but when Homer Simpson created his own concept car, and it was like really nicely shaped. It had like the bubble windscreen, and like there wasn't a flat square surface on it. This signature is reminiscent of that, I feel. So we've called it the Homer, which Brendan absolutely loves.
Are you calling his boat ugly?
It's an acquired taste, I suspect, that boat. But anyway, I think he's bought that because it's basically got a giant bed in it, and he's just going to park it on the Mulloway and go to sleep.
Why not?
If you're going to spend 10 hours waiting for one bite, you might as well be comfortable.
That's right. Absolutely.
We're sick of wearing ponchos in the rain waiting for that bite.
Yeah, I'll stick to the Edencraft in the nighttime cold trips, I think, Adrian.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, do we want to wrap it up for that little recording segment?
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Oh, Wind Against Tide Snapper Comp.
Oh,
being
maybe
put
we'll
forward.
have a snapper com, a win against Tide snapper com.
Well, we already do on most weekends, so maybe we'll formalise it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
perhaps.
Thanks for coming on, Rob. We're going to wrap up for...
And you know what? We'll get Rob to be the official weighmaster if we ever have a snapper com.
Oh, yeah,
What do you
sounds
reckon about that, Rob?
Sure, why not?
Sounds like he loves doing all the admin and he misses it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back at 3 p.m. with ET, Andrew Eddinghausen. And thank you to everyone at the show walking past right now. Good stuff.
Thanks to Dave Meehan too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, good stuff.